So I was working at a gym. It was about an hour and a half away from me. So I didn't want to go back into that industry, got into the fitness industry, and someone hired me at a really nice gym there. And it was a little bit long ways away from me. And then the personal training director of all the personal training of it was a multi-site gym. He took a liking to me, and he said, well, you have a sales background too, so why don't you become the personal training manager at this really nice gym in Sevierville, Tennessee, right? So it's like the Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area, really nice area in East Tennessee. Vacation spot, actually. So I was working there, had my own office. I was 21 years old, started making really good money, had a personal training staff, but I knew, Emmanuel, that God had called me. Like, what do? I'm not going to church at the time. I'm reading the Bible. I'm spending time in prayer. I'm listening to Dr. Charles Stanley, listening to Dr. David Jeremiah, and people randomly, here and there, I say randomly, but it was God ordained, people started randomly stopping by and giving me like a Bible, giving me this Christian book, giving me this Christian book. And I was sitting in the office one day, and I didn't know what to do with my life. And this old man comes walking into the gym with a push walker, and I introduced myself to him, and we knew some of the same people from North Carolina. Correct. Now get this, I'm meeting him in Tennessee. He says, I was swimming at a different gym, but for some reason God told me to come back to this gym, but I didn't know why. And then he looked at me and said, the reason is because of you. That's what this man told me. And he was a pastor of one of the largest churches in East Tennessee, First Baptist Church of Sevierville. And so many people knew him at that gym that he didn't go there. He went to a different gym because it was hard for him to get his workout done at that gym. So he obeyed the Holy Spirit, came back to that gym, said the reason was because of me. And he said, yo man, do you feel like God has called you to do something? And I did. I said, yes. He said, would you like a mentor in your life? And I just sense the Holy Spirit right now. You know, like I broke down weeping right there, in front of him. And I said, yes, that's exactly what I need. And come to find out what's amazing is he pastored the largest church in the town I grew up in, First Baptist Church of Hendersonville, North Carolina. Most likely walked the same exact hospital I was born in, the same exact day I was born. Because he would walk that hospital almost every day. So the same day I was born, this pastor most likely walked that hospital. 21 years later, we meet in Tennessee. I look almost just like him. If you look at his picture at my age today, you would think we're twins.
What's his name again?
His name is Dr. Rich Liner.
Wow.
And he was an associate pastor at First Baptist Church of Dallas, Texas, when Dr. W.A. Criswell was there. A wonderful man of God. You know, one of the few men of God where you sense the tangible love of Jesus in a man. You know, you sense the love of Jesus in that man. So to answer your question, that was a critical moment in my life. It was a huge turning point. So we began to meet once a week, and he would begin to pour Jesus into me, and I would start helping him out with his diet and with his exercise. So by God's grace, I helped him lose some weight, get in better shape, about 30 pounds actually, and he was about 70 years old at the time. And then God really used him to show me what Jesus could do through my life. I never experienced that before, Emmanuel. You know, and I started to understand that God can use me to preach the gospel. God can use me to heal the sick. God can use me to do something great for him. And at some point in our relationship, I don't think either of us even planned this out, but we started sharing Jesus with people. We would stop on the side of the road. We would go to restaurants. We would go to the gym. We would go to a school. We would go to over the phone. No matter where we were, we would start sharing Jesus with people, and people everywhere started coming to know Jesus very genuinely. It was amazing. And when I saw him talking to people, I was like, I love people. I want that same love for people in me as I see in him. And that, you know, most things in the Christian life are not just taught, they're caught from another person.
Absolutely.
You know, the biblical pattern is mentorship and discipleship.
Yes, sir.
So when I started spending time with him, it was amazing. And then at some point, like I said, we started sharing Jesus with people. And because he had relationships with so many churches throughout Tennessee and America, I started preaching in different churches almost every Sunday. And then God opened up the door for me to go to a Bible college, really good Bible college called the Crown College.
You started preaching right away?
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Yeah, I still remember the first time I preached to I think it was a college age group or young adults meeting at a church, and I just shared my testimony, and I was so frightened at the beginning.